Yes, as well.
Last season's main man for Sheffield United, Michael Brown, top scorer with 22 goals. He's only got one so far this season, and that was a penalty. He's being more closely watched just now. They know what he's about, but he has been troubled by injuries, and a suspension hampered him too. Reading under new management, and they have quickly established themselves as a first division force. They took the division by storm after winning promotion. Sheffield United, well, they're just glad to be at home tonight because 5 of their last 6 games have been away. Bramall Lane buzzing these days. These are exciting times for the Blades, who for so long lived in the shadow of their city rivals Wednesday. Not anymore. It is Reading then, in their change kit. They've lost their last 3 games away from home. They'll be looking to change that. Staying who start us off. Sheffield United, mind you, have lost their last 2 at home, which is unusual. They've never lost 3 in a row here under Neil Warnock's management. Marcus Hanneman, so outstanding last season, but he's had one or 2 shaky moments this.
Yes, must be this little disease that's going around in quite a few goalkeepers, quite a lot in the Premiership. They're just suffering from mistake-itis, and Marcus is one of those. It's quite interesting though, Ian, already, when I think if Steve Coppell had won in midweek against Walsall, would he have kept the 4-4-2 formation and Sean Goulter up alongside? But because he's lost, did that influence his decision just to go with the one up front, which is the system they played so often, as I said before, under Alan Pardew?
Here's Nicky Shorey for John Salako, who of course knows Steve Coppell very well. Coppell in fact gave him his debut at Crystal Palace a few years ago now. Coppell replacing Alan Pardew after almost keeping Brighton in this division last season. He managed to make a return to this division himself. James Harper, who was groomed by Arsenal, will take this. No Steve Brown to aim for, of course, but A.D. Williams, always a threat in these sort of situations. Harper delivers, and Hughes on the end of it, but the free kick is given.
Just pushing Whitlow at the far post there, but it's a real good line. Look at the distance between them and the goalkeeper. That's what you like to see as a manager, because those balls are making teams very uncomfortable these days when they're swung in, but they're far enough out, even if it wasn't a foul, comfortable for Gerrard.
Neil Warnock's Blades, 3rd in the table at the moment, but that could change by the end of this evening. A victory would enable them to leapfrog West Brom and the current leaders, Wigan, who of course Sheffield United drew with in midweek.
Well, the league's not settled down at all. You can lose 4 or 5 already and you're still 2 or 3 points off the top. Has happened to quite a lot of teams.
McCall giving it back to Brown. Another touch for the American, Marcus Hanneman. He does have a few caps for the USA, but a bit tricky when you've got the likes of Tim Howard and Brad Friedel and Casey Keller ahead of you in the queue.
Some production line, isn't it? We used to think of the Yanks have not been very good at soccer, but as they call it over there, but in recent years the progression has been phenomenal.
It's come off Nicky Shorey, one of the best left backs in Division 1. Kozluk with his throw. Peter Umlov making himself available. Kozluk again. There's definitely a handball from Sidwell, but Steve Tomlin, the referee, didn't see it as intentional.
When he held it in the air with the palm of his hand.
Harper. Andy Hughes making moves ahead of him. Here is Forster, beating Whitlow to it. Might just open up here for Nicky Forster, who scored twice in this fixture last season.
Great strike, you can't hesitate. That's what Mickey Whitlow does here. He hesitates, he waits, he doesn't go towards the ball. Forster says, right, I'm having that, come inside, there's nobody going to close me down. If that's the case, I might as well throw the swinger at it, but it's always going away.
Reading produced one of their best performances last season to beat Sheffield United here, 3-1. It certainly set up for something similar tonight. Ashley Ward, one of Neil Warnock's summer recruits. Chris Morgan moving up, another of his summer recruits. Kozluk will take the free kick. Morgan challenging. Kozluk. Ashley Ward trying to get in. A.D. Williams struggling to clear this. Here's Jack Lester. And he's managed to get that across, and Hanneman unable to hold on, but he was bailed out by the presence of Ingemarson.
Yeah, just not aware, I don't think, Ashley Ward there, of hovering around and waiting for something to happen. Stood watching.
Here's Harper. He might get a second chance. And it's come off Kozluk. It'll be a corner for Reading.
It's worth the effort, isn't it, from Harper? The first opportunity, the second one not so good. He's never going to score with the second one, and he'd get fortunate to get the corner.
Reading with a chance to signal their intentions in the opening stages here at Bramall Lane. Be the left foot of Nicky Shorey to send it in. Williams with the header, and Reading are in front. A.D. Williams, the captain, shows the way, and it's a storming start for Steve Coppell's side.
Well, Ashley Ward has let his side down, because all A.D. Williams does is just moves away from him. He gets blocked off as well. Very, very good play there by Andy Hughes. He blocks Ashley Ward off. The free header then for A.D. Williams. Guide it on that target. Get the neck muscles going. Get the head behind it. Power it towards the target. Wait and see what happens. And it goes in the back of the net.
Well, it's Williams' first goal since he scored in that 3-1 win here at Bramall Lane last season, and Reading are dishing it out again to Sheffield United. Here's Stuart McCall, now Ashley Ward. And that's the moment looked like it might give Jagielka trouble. Here's Shuri. Hughes now for Salako.
Oh, brilliant start from him, and it's a set plays. Work this out on the training ground. People do their jobs properly. Use a U-block Ward off, leave the free header for Williams, and then you meet it well, and superbly well, and it ends up in the back of the net.
Too much power on it for Paul Gerrard's liking. Gerrard on loan from Everton because Paddy Kenny, Sheffield United's first choice keeper, is injured. The veteran Mike Whitlow with a throw. Now Jack Lester. It was Lester who rescued the Blades at Wigan on Tuesday with a sparkling equaliser near the end. Take two for Whitlow. Williams won that, proving effective at both ends of the field. There is rarely a dull moment when Sheffield United are around, as they proved last season, reaching the semi-finals of both cup competitions and of course the playoff final, although Neil Warnock's team saved their worst till last, really. Beaten by Wolves in Cardiff. Here's Michael Brown, wide across, and it's in! The response is immediate from Ashley Ward. He certainly made up for it. It is 1-1.
Well, he does indeed. But James Harper, Steve Cobb will be disappointed with James Harper. Brown does really well, but you have to stop the cross. Look at this, he doesn't have to work too hard. He just skips it round the side. He doesn't even stick out a leg, Harper. But once that ball drifts along that 6-yard box, I said before he didn't anticipate Ashley Ward, but this time he's there, he's ready, he's waiting, and the leg's there to stick it away.
Ashley Ward's third of the season. 2 goals inside the first 10 minutes. Told you there was never a dull moment when Sheffield United were around.
2 attacks, 2 goals, we'll take that, won't we?
We're about 15 all at this rate. Ingemarson making his Reading debut. Coswick ready to take the free kick. Ashley Ward amongst those waiting for it, and those two entangled again. Here it comes from Coswick then, in towards Ward. Michael Brown took a deflection, that will be a corner.
Well, we've seen him guide these into the top corner, haven't we? It's just that lazy attempt to just drift it into the top corner, but Sidwell does really well, closes him down very quickly.
Sheffield United have really got to grips with it now, and Jagielka's header from Tong's corner stopped by Hanneman.
Didn't get enough power behind it. You've got to have somebody stood in front of the keeper. Jack Lested started to be there, then he drifted away. If he stands right in front of that keeper, he gets the head on that.
Jagielka wearing the captain's armband in the absence of Robert Page. A lively start at Bramall Lane on a nippy night in Yorkshire.
Well done to Ashley Ward at that far post. He does really well, Brownie. He just drifts that brilliantly with his left foot, just curling and spinning back, and there you go. I made the mistake on the first, but I've paid you back in full.
Here's Forster. He's managed to find Salako. Harper for Shorey. Reading on the rampage again, and it's going to be taken by Gerrard. Scott Murray trying to come in, but Sheffield United having none of that.
Just got goal side of Whitlow there, and Mickey Whitlow just pulling the shirt of Scott Murray.
Shorey. Salako hugging the touchline. And Shorey has slipped Salako in. And it's certainly not away yet. Scott Murray into the ground.
He didn't make good contact with it, did he? But he read it all the way. Let you have the head of Whitlow, and I'll get the second ball.
The free kick's been given against Williams for his foul on Leicester.
Well, we're playing with a big pitch, that's for sure. We're playing 18 yard to 18 yard. Now you have an attack, we'll have one.
Hanneman sorting out his wall. Michael Brown loitering near the free kick. Although Michael Tong looks the favourite.
There'll be some variation here, Ian, I'm sure.
It is going to be Michael Tong, and Hanneman behind.
There should have been some variation, I meant.
Well, he has scored some screamers in his time, Tom. So too Brown, in fact. Newman. Flag up against Forster, so he'll let that go, and Sheffield United allowed to carry on. Ricky Newman, a makeshift right back at the moment, because Graham Murty, the first choice, been sidelined for a few games. Leicester looking to give it back to Ward. Morgan won by Leicester, but Newman has it.
It's a funny sort of start, isn't it? I mean, 15 minutes gone for Sheffield United. Peter Unlove has not touched the ball since the game started, so obviously they've not had that good possession, Sheffield United. Whereas you look at Reading and they seem quite composed, compact together. Eddie Williams, apart from the goal, it seems to have got them well organised.
Tagielka, free kick, somebody put it Ashley Ward's way. Newman offender.
It just gets underneath him, as you'll see it there. Sometimes they're given, sometimes they're not.
Might be that variation you were talking about now for this one.
We're not going to have the variation this time.
It is Michael Tong to whip it in, and Hanneman got something on it, but it's Jagielka who slammed it back in. Tong will deliver again. Reading on the rack, it's Stuart McCall's turn. Jack Leicester had a swing at it, and Nicky Shuri missed his kick. Corner.
Well, there wasn't a lot of pace on the ball in the first place from Tong. I just think Marcus Hanneman, as you said, made quite a few mistakes already this season. Maybe just a little bit short of confidence, the reason why he just doesn't come and take all that.
Peter Unlove still isn't going to go his touch, because Tong's going to be the man again to whip the corner in. Sheffield United fell behind, but quickly got back on level terms. Free kick. And I think Michael Brown might have said something here to Steve Tomlin.
Complaining about a bit of argy-bargy going in inside the box. Spotted by the assistant on his far side. Well played, Neil Warnock. He spotted Unlove's not touched the ball on that side of the pitch, so he swapped Michael Tong onto the right hand side and Peter Unlove to the left. See if that helps.
Leicester safely collected by Hanneman. Up towards Nicky Forster. Here's Whitlow. He was looking for Unlove.
We're giving him that touch, that little block there.
Yeah, that was a touch. Ingemarson, and offside against Forster.
It's a good line, it's a high line. Paul Gerrard's going to have to be very alert if they're going to play as high up the pitch as that. Look at that. Mickey Whitlow may not have even stepped up in time.
Jagielka's free kick was poor. It's given Reading a chance to make moves here. Nicky Forster running into Kozlok.
I think it was the other way around here. Should have been a free kick.
And Williams having to send that out.
Indecisiveness again. Marcus Hanneman. Brave decision to come all the way, but Eddie Williams, like a good centre-half, he is dealing with it.
Tong and Shuri able to clear, but only as far as Tagielka. Kozlok's throw. He gets it back. Now here's Ashley Ward. And it's a corner. Michael Brown. Change of corner kick taker. Will Sheffield United profit from that? Brown having a good old look, and McCall left it, and the plan was for Michael Tong to come onto it. Kozluk will anyway.
I think he took the corner too quick, Michael Brown, because Michael Tong's heading back towards the halfway line, but before he's turned and ready to come, he's already played the corner.
Well, he's quite a character, Neil Warnock. And of course behind him there, David Kelly, his new assistant, because Kelly and Blackwell left to join Leeds.
They're laughing about that corner, basically, and realising how can he see the ball being played when he's facing the other way, Michael Tong.
But it worked really well on the training ground, as usual. Harper to take this then. Been doing for Ivar Ingemarson. Steve Coppell, his fourth game in charge, but his first one away from home.
I looked at it okay. I think we're pretty solid. The goal could have been avoided maybe if James Harper stuck a leg out. After that, once that ball drifts across the 6-yard box, you're just hoping somebody from the opposition's not there. Unfortunately, Ashley Ward was, as far as Steve was concerned.
Ward went to ground. It fell favourably for Michael Brown, who's dancing his way through. Supported by Kozluk. In by Brown. Straight at Sidwell. Stuart McCall with a challenge, which has set up a chance here for Leicester.
Quality tackle. Had to make it as well. Real cruncher. And won it.
39 years of age now, Stuart McCall, but still looks the part. Michael Tong is back on corners. It's going to come back to him. Closed down by Sidwell, who did well to cross that, and John Silarko turned it away. Sidwell's clearance only goes as far as McCall. And Jagielka would come up to the corner, trying to tee up Unlo.
Just might have had a go at that, because it's a brilliant ball from McCall. For Jagielka.
Steve Sidwell. Sidwell, of course, played for Steve Coppell at Brentford and at Brighton, so he's probably rather pleased to see him appointed manager of Reading. Andy Hughes just a tad offside there.
He's not really got in contact with the game. Andy, we should normally see him turning up alongside Nicky Forster.
Hughes used to play for Neil Warnock in their days together at Oldham. They were having a chat about that earlier. Well, Andy was trying to get a word in, I think.
Must be Michael Tong who's the magnet, because all the players going down the right-hand side for Sheffield United now, and Peter's still isolated without any possession on the left-hand side this time though.
He's starting to think it's personal soon. Unlove is Leicester. Now Tong. Brown. Forster. Michael Brown looking to get the blades going. And Brown gets it back. And it's in towards Jack Leicester. And they've still got it with Tong now. Kozluk sending it back. It's only come as far as Tong. He'll have a go. And it bounced off Shuri again. Jagielka, a little touch from the ref.
This is a Chris Morgan getting to know Nicky Force to tackle this. It's nothing too serious, but it's just enough to say, have some of that.
Morgan came from Barnsley. Contract was up there, played in the Premiership for them. Hoping to get there with Sheffield United. Ricky Newman. Not what Nicky Forster was looking for.
That's what makes it harder sometimes for Nicky Forster. When you're up there on your own, that ball can only be 2 or 3 yards away from you. You can't make too many runs into positions away from that middle.
Said well. Now Forster might fancy this. Andy Hughes making a run through the middle. Forster taking on Jagielka. Scott Murray is nearby. It's curled out.
Well, he had an opportunity to cross it first time, I think. Shorey trying to get forward on that left, and Hughes also making a good run for him. Does it well though. I think last season when we saw him playing up there on his own, we didn't think he'd be able to cope with it, but he blossomed, not only coped, he thrived on it.
Kozluk. The boot of Ashley Ward, who grabbed Sheffield United's equaliser after A.D. Williams had opened the scoring for Reading. Both goals coming in the first 10 minutes. Now since. Leicester. It's a lovely touch.
Peter and Love's gone back to the right hand side, so we're playing down the left, of course.
Whitlow. Oh, it's a cracking cross! And Brown coming in to meet it.
Wow, what a beautiful ball from Whitlow. This is just crying out to be headed. But you've got to try and take it in your stride, in your step, then you've got to angle the header, then you've got to try and put power behind it. A very difficult skill, but good attempt.
To score from open play this season, Brown. Whitlow, McCall, Ward, now Tong, in towards Leicester, lovely, Ward, Hanneman stops it. It was poked away by Shorey before Unlove could come in.
Oh, Peter Unlove, he's just stood watching the game. He's just stood watching. If he takes a gamble, he can go and score this. The play is magnificent. The build-up play, the touch from Jack Leicester. Look at that. That's outstanding. The cross shot from Ward is perfect. And then Peter Unlove, somebody just has to shake him to wake him up and say, come on, you get involved in the game as well, because there's a chance going begging for you if you want it. But he can only stand and watch when Shorey plays it.
Ingemarson. Forster timed it right. He's onside. Forster kept it in as well. And he'll get the corner. Morgan sliding in.
Well, Phil Jagielka's furious with Chris Morgan because he took it on himself to run back in there with Foster instead of just holding the line. Scott Murray.
Corner going nowhere, although it might go somewhere yet because Tom miscued it. Brown rescued it. Sheffield United making a pretty decent attempt to move forward, and they're going to get a free kick.
Andy Hughes is saying, you know, what did I do wrong in this situation here? Just gone in for the ball. The pair of us have gone for the same commitment. Ward's not complaining. Good, honest little challenge there. Nothing too serious.
Your kind of challenge, that, wasn't it?
It's not get them ones out of the game.
Jagielka sent it in. Whitlow is going to be comfortably taken by Hanneman. Sheffield United have spent a decade in Division 1 now. Reading's return to the First Division was an incredible one. Harper now looking for Forster, but the flag is up.
It's a better line once again, but they're still shouting at each other. Jagielka and them. Oh, they don't know what's behind them. You see, it's Mickey Whitlow once again. Both of them holding the line in front of them. Fortunate to get away with it.
Cool. Sidwell challenged him, and Reading bursting away with Forster. Sidwell has continued his run. Here he is, and he's got Solako with him, but sets it up for Harper. And that's a smart stop from Gerrard.
Great strike, great save.
Peter Runlove's got the ball at last.
Hear the big cheer.
Here's McCall. And again, the verdict is going to be a goal kick.
Well done, Paul Gerrard. Because you've got to get down very quickly when it's low and it's hit as hard as this, and it's hit as straight and as perfect as this, as Harper hits it. Look at that, going low and hard. Get down quickly, get two good hands behind it, make sure you make the save. And he does it for his team.
He's done really well since joining on loan from Everton. And has relished being able to play first team football. His loan actually expires at the end of November. But maybe Sheffield United might try and extend that. Paddy Kenny might be back around New Year time. Harper. Offside again against Forster.
Tell you what, he's playing them really well, because once again Jagielka's not sure. He's just hoping that he gets a flag, because look at that once again. Just miles onside. That was really unjust, some of the decisions against him.
Oh, it's going to be a free kick for Reading. Actually, Ward doing battle with Williams again. Sheffield United go to Stoke next. Then they've got 3 home games in a row against Crewe, Burnley and Walsall. Might fancy a match in return from that. Tom. He's got Whitlow with him. Harper up towards Forster. Morgan with a challenge. Kozluk. Cross game Ricky Newman, but he managed to pick out Peter Unlove. In towards Jack Lester. That's a goal kick, actually. Lester knew it, really.
It's worth a try. Run towards the corner flag and hope. But that's better. Peter Unlove, 2 or 3 things the last couple of minutes. Just welcomes him to the game, and he's got a sweat on. He's running around not getting the ball, but now he's getting a bit of possession. Unlove lost out to Harper then, though. Casual control.
And Reading had a free kick out of it. John Salako. Maybe the man for this. Harper also there. Everybody waits. Salako whips it in. And there was a shove by Ingemarson seemingly on Jagielka.
Well, it's hardly a shove at all, but Jagielka just nicked it off his head anyway. So, but just watch, there's the jump. Nothing too much in that.
Ingemarson penalised though on his Reading debut after joining from Wolves, where he wasn't getting much of a look in the Premiership this season. Here's Michael Todd looking to make it happen for Sheffield United. And goal kick.
Well, Ricky Newman just held back when he needed to, because you can see what Tong's after. I'll just touch the ball forward, you make the tackle now. But the tackle just doesn't follow through. Well done, Ricky Newman.
Ricky Newman, another who played under Steve Coppell before at Palace. Sidwell. Salako. Unlove with a fancy flick. And is then blocked by Sidwell.
Well, his confidence is back now. Just watch the flick and then the nutmegs as well. Sidwell's having none of the nutmegs. You can have the flick, we'll give you that. That's a nice bit of showboating, but when you put this through my legs, you're not going down the other side to get it.
There is a limit to these things. Kozluk floating it in towards Ward. Foul on him, by him rather, on Williams.
Well, they've had a good battle, these two, pushing and shoving the pair of them. You can see the arm is trying to prevent the header.
Kozluk. Here's Tong. Tong still going, and Harper tidying up, although it's gone for the throw. Whitlow getting ready for a long one. Steered away by Williams. It's going to come to Chris Morgan. It's a corner actually. Nicky Shorey.
How could he have not seen the deflection? His passing's not fantastic, Chris Morgan, but I don't think he actually played this to the far corner.
Sure, he obviously thought so. Reading giving away a needless corner. It's Michael Tong to take it, and there was a shove on Williams then, who is fuming.
Tried to do the block off themselves. Caused a few problems.
Well, we have another live match for you from Division 1 tomorrow, and it should be a bit tasty. 5:30, Sky Sports Extra. The former Reading boss Alan Pardew takes his West Ham side to Cardiff. Hughes' header, Forster inadvertently with a header. Ward. Here's Whitlow. Peter Unlove has come over to the left side again. Salako. Michael Brown decided to win it back. Kozluk. Jagielka. Tong. Straight at Shuri.
It's a difficulty for Nicky Forster when sometimes when it's played up to him and he can only have one touch like he has there. There's nobody in and around him for him to play it to.
Here's Ashley Ward. Unlove to his left. Here's McCall. Whitlow's cross away by Ingemarson, and only as far as Michael Brown. Kozluk. Andy Hughes coming to have a look.
Good position from the goalkeeper.
Now Unlove. Here's Brown. Now Kozluk. Michael Tong wants it. Michael Tong has it. Tong again. Oh, he smuggled it through here for Unlove. Ingemarson snuffing out the threat. Brown.
Just moved into another gear. Sheffield United now, their passing's very good, the support play is excellent.
Here's Kozluk. Brown across for Stuart McCall. He might be encouraged to have a go. No, he instead finds Ward.
Just winning every second ball now and then keeping it ticking over, keeping it moving.
Here's McCall. Oh, that's a great ball from him for Kozluk. And Hanneman having to turn it behind.
Oh, great strike. Great strike, great save. Because Kozluk was very hesitant when he gives it. Beautiful ball from McCall. There you are, you've got space, you've got time. Set yourself up. He took 1, 2, 3 steps towards it. Then he struck it really well. And watch Hanneman across his goal. Full length, good save.
Kozluk has only ever scored once for Sheffield United. That would have been a collector's item. Tong delivers. It breaks here for Stuart McCall. McCall trying again. I was looking for Jack Lester to make the run.
Oh, it's a superb ball. Just dropped and the pace and everything. But Lester goes the wrong way. He's there with him now and he thinks, right, you're just going to move into that space, but watch him step back.
It's Reading's turn to have a go, and oh, that is a very special goal from Nicky Forster. Out of nothing, spectacular, and Reading are back in front.
Well, you have to be good at your craft to be able to do stuff like this. This is absolutely magnificent. What a strike. Just look at this. This is why this fella has come on so much in recent years. Drifts inside and then hits it. Jagielka maybe could have charged it down, but he turns his back at that last second. Once he does that, and it sails past him. Gerrard, no matter how much he dives, he can dive again today and tomorrow, but he won't save it.
Well, just as Reading have been under a bit of pressure, Nicky Forster came up with that. McCall now, and Jack Lester has turned. Sheffield United once again are looking for a quick reply. Here's Whitlow. A ricochet favoured Unlove. Decent cross. Kozluk down here, and Ward trying to get in, and it stays out, but it's a corner.
Oh, he gets lucky. He gets lucky because the first opportunity you think he's going to take just when it comes back to him from Kozluk here. There's this chance, but the leg comes out, it hits Shaw, he rolls back to him. It's a difficult angle, there's lots of bodies in there. Hanneman's ready for it as well.
Tongs centre. Here's Scott Murray. Newman and Harper might fancy a bit of the action, but out comes Paul Gerrard. Gerrard's kick almost ended up on the television gantry. Sadly, there's nobody up here who could control it, so...
Yes, there is. Chris waddles around somewhere doing local radio.
1 minute of added on time in the first half. Here's Forster. And Nicky Forster has made the difference as far as the scoreline is concerned with a goal of the highest quality. Here's Ward. Unlove. Whitlow now. And Jack Lester with the header, not far off.
It's a very difficult header. 18 yards, trying to direct it, turn it, put power on it. The ball's not got that much pace on it, really.
Half-time at Bramall Lane. Aidy Williams gave Reading a flying start, but Sheffield United responded straight away. An equaliser through Ashley Ward. But as half-time approached, enter Nicky Forster with a goal that was quite simply stunning. We'll hear what Dave Bassett thinks of it next with George. But at half-time at Bramall Lane, it's Sheffield United 1, Reading 2.
Chris Kamara and Ian Crocker. Chris Kamara and Ian Crocker.
Thank you, George. Yes, Reading 2-1 up thanks to that stupendous strike from Nicky Forster just ahead of the half-time break and just after Sheffield United were having a pretty decent spell. You certainly get your fair share of entertainment when you come to Bramall Lane, don't you, Chris?
Certainly do. Good first half. And great goal to end the half with.
Sheffield United seeking out top spot in the First Division tonight, but they are going to have to do it the hard way. They start the second half trailing Reading. Here's Kozluk. Picked on by Ashley Ward. I'm sure Neil Warnock had a bit to say in his way during the interval. Although Nicky Forster's glorious goal came out of nothing, really. Here's McCall, now Ward, Peter Unlup. They'll be looking to give him the ball more in this second half. Sidwell put the challenge in, and now there's a break on for Murray. Chris Morgan.
He's going to get a yellow card. Oh, well done, referee. Just going to have a chat with him instead of giving him a yellow, because it's blatant. He's away from him and he just takes him out. You're not going anywhere. Well done, the ref. You had a bit of common sense, just have a word, don't do it again.
He's not shown a card yet tonight, Steve Tomlin. Harper for Scott Murray. Newman. Murray for Hughes, shadowed by Whitlow. It's going to be a corner.
We'll be watching the block this time. Don't get caught again. Will be the Neil Warnock motto at half-time.
Reading fans behind that goal, getting a good view of this. Shorey's corner, Andy Hughes trying to get near it this time. Whitlow stuck with him, but it's another corner.
Oh, what a chance that is. Just doesn't get off the ground somehow. I think Whitlow must have just used his strength to keep him down, because he's got ahead of him there. There you are, just take it. It's the shoulder of Whitlow behind him.
Eddie Williams will take up his position. Being encouraged to get a move on by the majority inside Bramall Lane. He does deliver now, and Williams looking to get there again.
Chris Morgan defends very well this time. But look at the movement and the strength that they're all doing. He just gets at half a yard, but Morgan's close enough to put him off.
It's easy to forget that just 2 seasons ago Reading were in the second division, of course. Came up and really made their mark on the first division last season. Although, of course, Alan Pardew so successful that West Ham came a-hunting.
Absolutely rewarded for his successes. Reading fans probably wouldn't agree with that. They'd say the reward would be Premiership football.
Jagielka. Away by Ingemarson. McCall. Jack Lester frustrated, a Sheffield United fan who joined the team of his dreams in the summer after leaving Nottingham Forest. Salako. Away by Jagielka, whose brother Steve is training with Sheffield United at the moment. Forster's foul on Kozluk. Jagielka's free kick. Flag was up anyway. A couple has come downstairs for the second half.
You know, when he watches the first half up top from the director's box, this fella's always on the touchline, apart from when he's banned, of course.
Which is now and again. Salako heading it on. Brown's header. Ashley Ward. Sidwell. Won't come down for anyone at the moment. Ashley Ward will get the free kick.
He had to. Not only Harper, but Ingemarsson's pulling him from behind. Watch, he's trying to get away from Ingemarson. There you are, there's 2 hands, 1 hand, pull in, drag in, there's the shirt goes as well, and then Harper, for good measure, adds his little bit.
Jagielka sent it in. It was Whitlow's header, which Hanneman smothered.
Yeah, just helping on its way, and that's Mickey Wicklow, does it really well. There you are, and then you just hope that the goalkeeper's not alert, but he was.
Been at fault for a couple of goals that Reading have let in this season, but last season he was a prominent member of that successful side that reached the playoffs.
Just to tend to drop off a bit too quickly. Eddie Williams and Ingemarson, which allows Sheffield United to drop that ball in towards their 18-yard box.
Here's Kozluk. Away by Sidwell. Forster busy coming back from an offside position. Robbie Warnock did try to bolster his squad this week. I think it might have been Robbie Stockdale he was after, in a low move from Middlesbrough, but of course Stockdale went to West Ham instead. Reading using their heads. Newman using his boot.
A bit more direct Sheffield United than they were in the first half, where they played some very, very good football.
Leicester for Ward. He's a bit busy en route. A bit of
Anxiety, a bit of anxiousness, where they're thinking, well, we played all that football, yet we didn't have the goals to go with it. Now maybe the crowd get a little bit impatient as well. Let's get that ball forward a bit quicker.
Ward and Love. Brown for Kozluk. Tagioka towards Peter Unlove. Sidwell closing in. Brown for Kozluk. Sheffield United fans encouraged. Blades still have plenty to do. Kozluk's cross though.
Well taken in the end, moved his feet very well. He just thought for 1 second he hadn't read it, but comfortable. But they're just dropping off a bit too early now, Reading. Just allowing Sheffield United once again to play right in front of them. Enough space and time on the ball.
Newman, a midfielder, turned right back at the moment with Graham Murty sideline. Forster. Now Sidwell. Newman. Hughes. Reading just inside the top 10 at the moment in the First Division, but of course things can change quickly. A couple of wins brings dramatic movement in the table. Shorey. Now Salako. Kozluk got back. It's a corner. Back come the centre halves. Williams scored Reading's first.
They're having a chat with the referee, Whitlow. Morgan just saying to him, beware of the block off. Be aware it might happen again.
Scott Murray tries something a little different. Forster. Ingemarson for Salako. Sheffield United's hopes to break away quickly faded quickly. Salako straight towards Gerrard.
He's always favoured that, coming in from the right onto his left foot. John Salako.
It's given away by Michael Brown of all people, and Sidwell finds Forster and Scott Murray with the ultimate effort.
Just silly little mistakes now, creeping into the game. Look at that. Very easy for Reading just to find their way through. Not real power behind that by Murray.
Salako and Shorey combining. Newman taking a touch. Leicester came charging in on the USA keeper. On by Ashley Ward. Tagioka for Kozluk. Sheffield United have come back once before. They need to do it again, but they won't do it like that.
Still easy for Robert Kozluk just to drop that ball in towards Jack Lester, though, just because they're dropping too many yards off their midfield. Maybe Williams and Ingemarson.
This is better from Sheffield United. Tong sent it in, and Newman quickly across to clear. Osberg wants a change of balls. Comes back to him. It's a crafty one from Kozluk, and Hanneman got a fist to it, but here's Peter Unlove as Sheffield United look for a breakthrough in this second half. Unlove trying again. And Ingemarson is being fouled by Ashley Ward.
Definite policy from Neil Warnock is let's get more balls into the box for challenges. Used to said to them at half-time, I think Ashley's got the beating of Ingemarson, so keep aiming that ball towards him. Not quite happened yet.
Kozluk's throw. Ward was sandwiched. Sheffield United fans wanted a free kick. Here's Tom. Interception by Steve Sidwell. Tom's under-21 international teammate. Kozluk's long throw. Ward trying to put himself about. It comes to Stuart McCall. Some reprieve now for Reading, although maybe only temporary.
It is. They're dropping off so deep now, and there's Forster isolating on his own. It's just going to be a case of wave after wave of pressure.
Ward challenging Williams. Here's Brown. In towards Ward again. He's taking it down, and more.
It's unfortunate, isn't it? Because it just drops onto him at the last second. Has to take it in the air. There he goes, and drops onto the inside of his arm, if anything. Maybe we can see it from a better angle. There it is.
Will leave the throw to Shuri. Now Salako. And Hughes and Harper waiting in there, but Stuart McCall lurking too. Ward gets the free kick.
Just letting themselves be dominated by Ward at the moment, Ingemarson and Williams. Nobody's taken an opportunity to go and attack the ball, just allowing him to dictate to them where he wants to bring it down.
Kozluk sent it in and Williams sent it out. Peter Unlove, and here's Morgan, and it comes to Brown.
He's had to adjust his feet, Michael Brown. It just comes straight back towards him. We would love to have seen this positioned on his right foot, but there's a load of missed kicks going on in there, and then eventually finds his way to his feet. Look at that, straight on. One opportunity, unwasted.
Score from open play yet. Michael Brown for Neil Warnock's team this season. 22 goals last season, of course. Here's Tom. We've seen Unlove in there, but it's going to disappear well away from him.
He knew he was capable of better than that. He was disappointed. He wasn't produced better than that. crowd are doing their best. Trying to get behind the team now.
Tom has just extended his contract until 2007, which will delight the Sheffield United supporters. Here's Peter Unlo. McCall. Blocked by Harper. Whitlow. McCall. Brown. Now Tong. Michael Brown. Towards Jack Lester. He never really had it under control.
Well, they're dicing with trouble. They're putting bodies behind the ball, Reading, but nobody's actually going to attack the ball.
Chris Morgan for Michael Brown. Kozlov. On by Leicester. Comes back to him. And Harper took the ball. Mickey Forster's going to chase this, but Chris Morgan has it sorted. He's gone up here to add to Sheffield United's frustrations.
Ball coming back from onside position. Another change in the rule again if you're coming back now. You don't have computers with that one. That's better. Steve Copp would be happy with that. Harper, somebody at least closing the ball down, stop inviting the pressure.
Hughes. Andy Hughes has stayed down here. Gingerly getting up now as Sheffield United look to make progress. There's a late lunge there from Peter Unlove. And Ricky Newman.
Just snapped the possession maybe, Peter Unlove, and trying to pick it up.
Here's Sidwell. He's gone for it, and it was deflected. Corner.
Yeah, well, Jagielka should have made the first challenge. Because he's so quick, he can get back. Look, there's the first opportunity, but then he gets across. Good block.
Shorey with this corner. The Reading fans behind that goal have enjoyed their long trip up north so far. Shorey sent it in. Oh, it eluded everybody. Here's Scott Murray, and it took a deflection, and Gerrard scrambling across.
You just wonder why it's Adi Williams who's the one on this corner for the low one when it comes in. You know, that's the one where you want to see the Nicky Forsters or the Scott Murrays coming in.
Been trickling wide anyway, but Gerrard wasn't about to find out. Everybody jostling for position again, especially Williams. Now, Unlove racing away. Unlove gets another chance, goes for himself, but Hanneman saw it coming all the way.
Great pace, really a bit of a waste. Delivery there, and then it's hit and hope after that.
If Reading were to win here, they would move up a couple of places into 8th. Jumping above Nottingham Forest and Millwall. But they've got a fair bit of work to do yet as Sheffield United plug away, looking for an equaliser. They've already had to come back once in this game, and they need to do it again. And Sheffield United, in their quest for a goal, are going to bring on Paul Pesky-Solido in a moment. Here's Michael Tong, though. Tong closing in, and Leicester! And that is some block from Williams, and they're claiming.
I think if it has caught him on the hand, it's unintentional, because he gets back so quick here. Look at the feet, gets across there, maybe bounces off his right arm, but you can see there's no intent whatsoever to handle that ball. Good tackle.
Well, Jack Leicester might have saved himself then, because I think he's about to be taken off with Paul Pesky-Solido waiting in the wings.
I think only a goal would have saved him.
It's rather wayward from Gerrard, actually. It'll be easy for Shuri. Now Salako. Harper. It opens up here for James Harper. No touch from the goalkeeper.
Good strike. Well, they're trying to play offside once again. It didn't quite work out. Harper's got space. He thinks, right, I'll have a go. He's drifting wide. He's got it covered, Paul Gerrard, but worth the strike.
Well, Sheffield United are making that change now. Jack Leicester has gone off, and on comes Paul Pesky-Solido, who, unsurprisingly, was less than impressed to have been left on the bench this evening. He will feel he has a point to make to his manager.
He's a great sub, though. And when you see older players at times, you think, well, they're better off starting them because you can't get into the pace of the game. But the one thing about Paul Pesky-Solido is that he gets into that pace immediately. And if a chance comes his way, 9 times out of 10 he sticks them away.
Tom caught Sidwell then. Harper. Ingemarsson towards Nicky Forster. It's won by Jagielka, but Salako now trying to escape the clutches of Kozlik. Salako's got a corner.
Just starting to go again, Reading. This is the best little spell since the second half has started. They're very dangerous because they've got lots of improvisation on the corners.
Off come Williams and Ingemarsson naturally. What can Reading make of this? It's another one of those short ones. Taken by Nicky Forster. Might get a shot away here though. Already scored one beauty tonight.
Well, he was going to return this, Nicky Forster, but Sheffield United have seen this corner before. That's where he's supposed to dummy it there. Murray comes in, but he goes the other way because he's realised they've sussed it out, and he's done one in the top corner towards the first half, so why not have another go? But this time he gets underneath it.
Whitlow. Just drifted away from Ward. Here's Umlov. Here's Brown. Kozlik. Sheffield United in need of inspiration. Paul Pesky-Solido just on as a sub. Umlov. Pesky-Solido for McCall. Here's Tong. And here's Whitlow. It's blocked by Newman.
Good block by Newman, but once again they're sitting too deep, inviting that pressure.
It's flicked on couple of times in fact. Wouldn't fall favourably though for Ashley Ward, but Ingemarson has sent it out for just a throw.
He's claiming Ashley Ward handled that ball. I think he might have had a case as well.
There's Tong. Williams met it. Well, the goals came in the first half. Sheffield United unable to unlock Reading's door in the second half.
Yeah, despite, as I keep saying, they are inviting the pressure, they are still coping with it quite well.
Cheers from the home fans as Williams leaves it for Hanneman. Sanako knocking on. Ashley Ward just turned away by Ingemarson. Andy Hughes. Looking to put Nicky Forster in. Forster finding a way past Jagielka. On by Ashley Ward. Keski Solido down for Umlov. Here now is Michael Brown. Ingemarson met the cross, but Peter Umlov can try again for the blades. And Keski Solido's header was going to veer away.
He's unlucky, he just takes off a little bit too early. Watch this as the ball comes in. There he is, he's up. Can't angle it. Doesn't know exactly what he's trying to do, aiming for that top corner.
Oh, we've another live game for you tomorrow from Division 1. The mouth-watering prospect of Cardiff City against West Ham United. It's on Sky Sports Extra from 5:30. Former Reading manager Alan Pardew now in charge of the Hammers, of course. At last in charge after his month's gardening leave. During which I don't think he did much gardening. Sheffield United making another change then, and Mike Whitlow's coming off. Chris Armstrong, who was picked up from Oldham in the summer, is coming off.
Just give him a little bit more width and attacking legs down that left-hand side. He's done okay, Mickey Whitlow, but now when they're searching a goal, they just need that little bit extra.
Armstrong and ball straight away. McCall. Kozluk. Pesky Solido for Ward. Ingemarson though with a fine challenge. Poked away by Newman, but only as far as Armstrong. Pesky Solido needs help from Tong. Armstrong. Oh, and Hanneman came for it, but it was Sidwell who took it away for a corner.
Well, you've got to deal with it, no matter whether your goalkeeper shouts or not. When that ball's in that area, you've got a chance to head it, do it. Well done, Sidwell.
The Sheffield United faithful trying their best to rouse their team. McCall's cross. It's going to be a free header for Eddie Williams.
They've seen that set piece as well before, because he just stood in that space the whole time, Eddie Williams, and thought, this is coming straight to me. And that's exactly what happened.
Ingemarson met that one. Here's Jagielka. Away by Ingemarson again. Still Sheffield United give it a go. McCall offside this time.
Very tight call, isn't it? Both in there, jostling and pushing.
We need a new flag here.
I knew there was something wrong with that flag. Went up too many times in the first half.
Yes, overuse.
Is the flag bearer.
One of the more unusual delays to a game. Raising a few smiles around Bramall Lane. Anyway, got a new one.
I thought it was going to be a ukulele in there. The benefits of having a fourth official.
That's what they're for. McCall. Ashley Ward. Sheffield United looking for some sort of break now. They will feel hard done by if they get nothing out of this game. But Reading are proving resilient.
I don't think they've been that good in this second half, Ian. I just think they've had a lot of possession, but the play in the first half was very good. I do believe that Reading have caused their own problems in this second half by allowing that pressure, by allowing Sheffield United just to drop that ball in towards the strikers. Eddie Williams would have got his defence out a lot quicker than he has done.
It's on now for Pesky Solido. Pesky Solido trying to force the issue, but here is Hughes. Forced very much on his own now up there.
60 yards between him and the midfield and the defence.
McCall. Armstrong. Unlove goes up with Shuri. It's going to be a goal kick actually.
Well done. Good spot by the referee. Quite clearly see that this comes off Peter Unlove after Shuri. This comes off his back.
Peter Unlove, Sheffield United's leading scorer this season with 8. They won't care where a goal comes from in the final 10 minutes or so, as long as they get one. Should be a major scalp for Reading. Since Steve Coppell took charge, won 2 out of 3 games. They were beaten in midweek by Walsall at the Medeski Stadium. Sheffield United have the chance to go top tonight, of course, but they will need to turn it around and win this game. I'm sure Wigan are watching. They're enjoying this one at the moment, the current leaders. Salako spinning. Shuri. Unlove up towards Ward. Now Brown. Pesky Solido giving it his best shot. Eddie Williams unravel. Reading are going to shore it up a bit more in the closing stages by bringing on Kevin Watson shortly. Sidwell.
I think the fact is bring Kevin Watson on to try and retain the ball, because all they do now is just launch it when they get it, and I think Steve will be thinking, right, we need some more passes. Kevin Watson can do that.
Williams won that. In fact, a free kick has been given against Morgan. Rather.
That's 6 or 1.5 a dozen, is it? Ashley Ward's holding 80, and vice versa.
The Reading wall is going to have to go back a bit yet, that's for sure. Michael Tong ready to have a pop here. decisive moment this. Sheffield United look for an equaliser. Here comes Michael Tong. Battered against the wall.
Actually, it's Michael Brown. Michael Brown stood in front of the wall, and he's the one that actually charges it down.
Headed on by Morgan. Pesky Solido trying to get in, but Hanneman collects. And Eddie Williams has gone down here.
I think he's time wasting, but you can see he actually got caught.
And it was Eddie Williams who started the scoring this evening. All 3 goals came in the first half.
This is when happier times before that last knock. Here we are, have some of that, thumped in the corner, nobody in the post, and the equalising goal, Ashley Ward at the far post, making that ball his own, and then this create a goal out of absolutely nothing. Players like Nicky Forster in the First Division and the Premiership invaluable.
Well, I think we're going to make that change now. Andy Hughes coming off and Watson coming on. Hughes will return tonight after a thigh injury. Reading are nearly there. Watson is going to have to do his bit to ensure they hang on. And that would be an excellent 3 points here. Kick from Hanneman, steered back by Jagielka. Gerrard's going to do exactly the same thing, although there's a poor kick.
Screaming at Paul Gerrard. Just throw it out. Just keep trying to launch it.
Here's Kozluk. Up towards Pesky Solido, away by Williams, but now Michael Brown. And Sidwell keeps him in check. Sidwell determined to win that again. Beating Brown to it. Here's Tong. Jagielka. He manages to shake off Sidwell. Tong takes over. Now Michael Brown. Away by Williams. And Murray looking for Forster, but Gerrard coming out. Sidwell and Brown then. They became stuck together. Ward. Tong. Kozluk arrives on the scene now. That's not bad. And Eddie Williams turning it behind for a corner.
That's a fantastic goal. This doesn't get the attacking that it needs because Ashley Ward's got to get across his strikers, but Eddie Williams watches it all the way.
Sheffield United, and Wayne Allison, the man they call the Chief, is coming on. He'll be required some defensive duty, I'm sure, as well, should Reading have another champ, but it's up front where he's needed most. Tong sends it in.
wasting a bit more time now. They've got a game plan in this second half.
Jagielka up towards Alisson and Pesky Solido. And it was a fine challenge by Ricky Newman, actually.
That's a brilliant challenge. You just thought he was going to pull the trigger here, Pesky Solido. He reads it beautifully. Just watch, there's the flick. He's onto it like a flash. But look at that from a foot from Newman, just when it was needed.
Kozluk's long throw. It comes to Jagielka. Missed out by Salako. Sheffield United ready to launch another assault on Reading's goal. Kozluk with a long throw. Ashley Ward putting himself about. And it comes to Jagielka. That's ambitious.
Very ambitious. Just help it back in towards the big chief.
Neil Warnock's Blades running out of time. They could be heading for a third successive home defeat. Steve Coppell, Reading's new manager, post-Tardew. He's had a pretty good start, despite that defeat in the week. This would be a massive result for him. On by Wayne Allison, away by A.D. Williams. Flag is up here against Nicky Forster. Linesman's keeping it up, but the referee has acknowledged the fact. Hit and hope. Ingemarson seemed to be wrapped around Ward then. Salako in front of Unlov. Heading towards the last minute of normal time. I'm sure the Reading fans watching won't want much added on. Allison sending it on towards Ward. But Williams and Ingemarson haven't done much wrong.
Right, Ian, they caught very well. They dropped deep, and they've made sure that when they were called upon, they had to be there.
Big kick from Gerrard. Headed away by Williams. It's not exactly falling favourably for Sheffield United. They look like they're going to miss out on the chance to go top of Division 1 this evening. But they will still be very much in the hunt. Reading, though, starting to make moves if they win here. Allison flicked it on. It's away by Watson. It's a corner. The 90 minutes almost up, and there's going to be 3 added on. Tong delivers. Kozluk sending it back towards Tom.
So I'm not happy with the 3 minutes. They want a bit more.
Kozluk comes to Allison. Now Morgan. And Ingemarson was caught then as he cleared.
He miscontrolled it, Chris Morgan. He's not happy with himself, but he does catch Ingemarson, who once it becomes loose, just sticks a leg out. It's a painful one for Ivor Ingemarson. Straight down the shin.
Well, Steve Tomlin having words with Chris Morgan. I think he's going to show a card this year. By the look at it, first one of the night.
He tried to keep it in his pocket, didn't he, tonight? But watching that again, you can see it was the right decision. Another little look at it. Not only is he catching down the shin, watch the ankle at the depth there.
Seconds have ticked away. Might be a little more than 3 minutes added on that. Last season, Sheffield United finished 3rd, Reading finished 4th, but both experienced the agony of the playoffs. Both might be up there. Yet again, though, where it matters. Steve Coppell's Reading on the verge of a wonderful victory at Bramall Lane. The second season running, actually. They came here and won 3-1 last season, although it was Alan Pardews running then. Doesn't look like it's going to be Neil Warnock's net.
No, just aiming that ball in towards those strikers and hoping that something will happen. They end up giving 1 or 2 fouls away, and that's what's happened now.
Up towards Solarco. Sheffield United need it up the other end and quick. Ooh! Got it from Jagielka, just carries to Gerrard. Last chance perhaps for Sheffield United. Up it goes to Ward. Helped on by Allison. Sidwell trying to keep Tong in check. It's a corner. Reading don't think so, but it is.
I don't think Sheffield United thought so either. Michael Chung wasn't appealing at all then.
Well, this will be harsh on Reading if something happens from this. Reading still protesting about the award of a corner. And they have a point, it seems. They're hoping Sheffield United don't have a point here. Armstrong whipping it in, and a free kick is given Reading's way. That put the referee off. And that's that, surely.
Poor, isn't it? Just when you want an opportunity. Look, Leslie Ward just pushing people out of the way, and he pushes him back, Ingemarson.
A few cheers any second now around Reading, unless Sheffield United can muster one final effort. Referee has looked at his watch several times, and it's going to be a free kick against Wayne Allison, and Reading have the points in the bag.
Oh, that was that's a close one, because actually catches him on the arm. Not Wayne Allison, it's Ingemarson, it catches on the arm. Just as they both go up there together, there's the right arm comes out.
Ingemarson's injury added to the amount of injury time, but it is all over now.
It couldn't have been a tougher start for Ray Lewis.